Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 18.4. Now, it's been over a week now since the release of iOS 18.3 to the public, and we actually have been expecting for iOS 18.4 to be released on its first beta even the same week as the release of iOS 18.3 to the public, because we know that's a big update. It will contain a ton of new features and some really big new features, and it will of course have to go through a lot of beta stages before it gets ready to be released to the public. But that didn't happen. So what's happening? When can we expect iOS 18.4 to be released on its first beta? And of course, a lot of new features and changes that we can expect with this update. Let's first of all talk about the release date of iOS 18.4 Beta 1. Well, we're currently on February 5th, and this week we have actually been expecting for sure to see the first beta of iOS 18.4 getting released to the devs, and then of course a week later, maybe two, followed by a public beta. But it didn't happen. We're on the 5th. It's a Wednesday. Usually, as you probably know, if you have been following this stuff, it will happen on a Monday or a Tuesday, but it didn't happen. We're on Wednesday today, and it's likely that it might happen even today, but more likely is that it will happen tomorrow. A lot of 0.4 updates have been released on the Thursday, so it's still time this week for this beta to actually be released to the devs. Now, if that happens, it will happen, as I'm saying, today or more likely tomorrow. If that doesn't happen, then I don't expect Apple to actually do it on a Friday. Then we will most likely have to wait for the next week to actually see the first beta of iOS 18.4 getting released to the devs. So let's wait for tonight and see if it happens. If not, then tomorrow most likely we will see the first beta. And now let me show you guys a few cool new features, big new features that you will be able to see on the new iOS 18.4. Now, first of all, will be, of course, screen awareness for Siri. Now, what this is about is basically Siri knowing what's on the screen. So on-screen awareness means that you will be able to actually make Siri requests that will reference to the things you're looking to. So basically, when you're talking about something to Siri, it knows if that's on your screen or not. So if you have something like, let's say, an address or a phone number, you can say, add this number to my contacts, or add this address to my contacts, or things like that. And you don't have to specify if that's basically on your screen. Siri will be able to actually notice that and do that action for you. So it's actually really awesome, and it will be useful for a lot of things. Next will be, of course, the new in-app action, the things that actually Siri will be able to do within apps. So as you know, right now Siri cannot do that, but it will be able to do that with this update. And not just, of course, on iOS apps, it will be able to do that on third-party apps, and it's using a system called App Intents. So the apps that you have here, maybe your social apps or things like that, you will be able to actually ask Siri to perform an action within those apps. So that will be really awesome. So maybe like tweeting something here or things like that, you will be able to actually do that now using Siri for each of your apps that you have on your iPhone. And it will also work like cross apps. So if we're on the Photos app, I can say to Siri, add this filter to this photo and then save it to this folder on my Files app. And it will actually be able to do that not just in one app, but actually use multiple apps at the same time. And there will be, of course, personal context knowledge. It's a feature that Apple has talked about at WWDC 2024, where Siri will be able to learn from you, know your personal contacts, and of course, then perform actions and do things based on your personal contacts. Priority notifications are also coming to iOS 18.4. Now, the way priority notifications will work is something like the priority mail that we have now on the new email app. So basically, on your notification center, on your lock screen, you will get your priority notifications. So like a stack, a card here with notifications that you will prioritize. So it's actually pretty cool, and it will be very useful. So priority notifications will of course use the Apple Intelligence language to understand and determine which of the notifications should be prioritized and sent to you first here. Of course, just covering all the other notifications and just popping them at the top of the stack of notifications that you have on your device. We're also expecting an update for the Playground app. Hopefully we're getting now the sketch style, which is actually missing in the Playground app. I don't know why this has happened, because we do have this if we use this feature within the Notes app. So you will have the styles here. So we have illustration and animation, but you also have sketch only on the Notes app, but you don't have it on the main Playground app, and that should change with iOS 18.4. And iOS 18.4 is finally bringing Apple Intelligence in the EU. So if you live in EU, you should get proper Apple Intelligence on your device with this update. And also, Apple Intelligence is expanding to more languages: French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese should be the next languages that will be supported by iOS 18.4. So with iOS 18.4 being now just days away from being released on its first dev beta, how can you install it on your device if you decide to? Well, it's very simple. Head on to your general settings, go to software update, and right here under beta updates, you will have the option to choose dev update or public update. If you choose the dev update, you will of course get it sooner. So as soon as it releases, you will see it right here, and you can just go ahead and update. Just notice that the first update will probably be quite big in size, so you need to have at least like 10 or 12 gigs of free storage on your iPhone. If you want to wait for the public beta, which probably will be a week or maybe a couple of weeks later, then go ahead and choose the public beta right here. But should you install it or not? Well, it depends on you, but if you have just one device that you use as your daily device, I wouldn't actually bother with installing this beta, at least until the second beta, or just at least wait for the public beta and a few days to see if there are any like major issues with this update or not, because usually when we have these kind of big updates, there might be of course things that go wrong, like a lot of new features might drain battery and things like that. So if you're trying or thinking about installing it on your daily device, I think that you should wait for a few days. So what's next? Of course, iOS 18.4, but in between iOS 18.3 and the release of iOS 18.4 to the public, will most likely get smaller updates. Most likely iOS 18.3.1 should be on the way. There are always like things that Apple is trying to fix in the background, security patches, of course, different bugs and things that people are experiencing with iOS 18.3. So most likely in a couple of weeks or so, we should get another update for iOS 18.3.1. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button. Of course, subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you guys on the next one.